from Amazon, grief, and fear, and stepped into my power. Welcome back to Mindset of a Goddess TV. 27 was the year everything shifted for me. It was the year I began stepping into my higher self programming my subconscious mind, and truly understanding the science of alignment and sacrifice. But it was also the year I faced one of the hardest losses of my life, the passing of my dad in 2021. Before all that, I was working at Amazon, my last months actually, and doing hair on the side. And let me tell you, those last few months at Amazon, I was using all my PTO, vacation time, and UPT to take care of clients. Looking back, the calling was there. I was just waiting for the courage to step into it fully. In August 2021, I made the decision to finally leave Amazon permanently. And it was really July 2021. August is when I actually officially started inside of a salon. And as I stated in a previous episode, I said I might not be coming back. And indeed, I did not come back. And I went full time into hair. And almost instantly, doors started opening. Yes, I was shocked because I never talk about my feelings and how a lot of things made me feel when I did it or when I experienced it. But I was very shocked from leaving, just making all those choices by myself or just trusting myself. I was very shocked. Everything I envisioned was coming into reality. I found a salon that was clean, welcoming, and the perfect environment to start fresh. Not only that, I gained enough clients to stay full time without looking back. And that was shocking as well, even though I did process the math before I even left my job. And even before I even started working in the salon, I did process how much I needed to make and how many clients I needed to have. But the way it came in, I was very shocked, and but at the same time, very grateful. At this point, I was also dreaming about moving to another state. Deontay had already put in my mindset of moving to another state. Um, And then just also seeing his experiences and how it went for him, on top of me just already navigating my life by myself, I was already sure that that's, what I wanted to do. And especially just to get away from all the negativity. I did want to move to Atlanta because it was based off of hair. And I wanted to just grow and continue my hair career somewhere else or just somewhere else where it was known or more connected to hair. But God had other plans. And then eventually I had other plans. Every time I tried to make that move, something would block it. I didn't feel like it wasn't supposed to happen, but I knew it wasn't time. And I accepted that. Every time it felt like it was being blocked or it wasn't the time, I always found the reason why or came to the conclusion of why it was blocked. And even now, when I look back and piece everything together, my whole life started to make a lot of sense. But it's just certain things that I will not speak on the internet or just right now. Fast forward to 2024, the timing actually felt right and I was aligned to move out of state and be on my own. But that's a story for a different episode. By November 2021, I was thriving as a natural hair and lock stylist. Now, when I was doing locks for some years, but actually taking it more serious and just perfecting it, that started when I permanently started doing hair. I started learning from other stylists, taking different mini classes and mini certifications. And I just find it so funny because it's just so much I did behind the scenes that I just did not announce. And I just learned that a lot of stuff was just protection, or I just really just knew how to protect myself because I got to see how a lot of people feel about me when you don't announce stuff. And then sometimes I tell myself, am I childish for not announcing it, or are they childish for not properly asking questions and getting to know me? I had even launched my own hair care products. I believe it was Pretty Girls in Style. Then I switched to Aaliyah, the hairstylist, when I sold where I sold lashes, hair care, and hair accessories. And they sold. They sold to, I was selling, at the time, I was selling to Amazon clients, Amazon coworkers. I was selling to friends, associates, and even strangers. And I was very surprised. But being in that salon and in that location, it was a very good thing for me. Not because they was just okay or just some products to sell, but because I set an intention for me to make extra cash along with doing hair. The fact I'm even sharing my mindset with money a bit feels weird because I usually don't. I usually don't care to. I like looking regular or poor or, just the less attention the better when it comes to finances or business. Especially when you grow up with around the type of people that I did, or I guess what you call it, money hungry people. One thing about me, stillness is actually what helps me stay sane and not burned out. Even now, all I think about is Steve Jobs making a great invention for years just to die early. He's not the only one, but I sure don't want to be like him. So I do take pride in taking my time or just really putting myself first or prioritizing self care. And also, the last before I even officially quit hair, I had was really going hard, and I really did when I had my suite, and I did a lot of hair, and I felt what burnout felt like, and from that day, when I went to the doctor, a lot of things that I had going on, she would say, "Oh, I think it's just from you doing hair," and she would just blame everything on me working and doing hair, which some of it was, but compared to now, it feels good to like have my body back physically and not have to go through so much pain. It wasn't just like horrible pain, but those pain points that you ignore or like those discomfort feelings that you ignore that can just be damaging over time. I even had clients who would warn me about certain things, and that's another reason why I decided to move on and find something more suitable. Because when you have clients that's like works in the doctors, or just research, or my grandmas that would be super nurturing or super caring, I'm big on listening, especially when they're coming from a good place. And I guess that's just like the dark side of doing hair or like doing color and different stuff that they don't tell you about in salons. Shifting my energy, leaving a draining job helped me become fully aligned. One thing people don't talk about in this industry though is the difference between popularity and consistency. You can have followers, but a loyal, consistent clientele is what pays the bill every week. Helps you it helps you save money easier and more consistently versus constantly posting or searching for the next client. And I know what it looks like on the internet, but behind the scenes, everything is not what it seems like, even like in every industry, but we're specifically talking about hair. Another thing, lowering prices and creating specials, that was something I really wasn't into doing. People will pay for comfort and professionalism. And if you ever want to do hair, you have to know that. Or if you want to be successful at doing hair, you have to know that. I am proof. Along with the other old school and professional hairstylists, they will tell you the same thing. From the stories I heard plus mine, there are not that many professional hairstylists, and that's why a lot of people have to constantly post or constantly have to create the most top content, take time, even more time out of the day to create top content to bring in clients because they lose them just as fast as they get them. But that's a different lane, and I was grateful to be in it and just being able to keep clients just by simply being myself. Everything changed in November when my dad passed away. I kept doing hair while grieving, but it was hard, especially being around women who were great at doing hair, but still childish in other ways, or if you want to call it emotionally immature. I'm not here to blast anyone, but it taught me not every environment is meant to be long term. I know I wasn't losing clientele or blessings. I had came too far and I made too many decisions to just quit on myself or just end it altogether. even if I had to take my clients at home. And there's was times when I did, and they never minded. As long as I was doing the hair, they did not care. And people don't understand how much I really genuinely love my clients. When my dad passed, I stepped up. It made me go harder. Not my sister, not my mom. I thought they'd be more distraught because they lived with him longer and spend more time with him. But over time, I realized I was taking on way more responsibility than I could have imagined and even planned to. Managing a household, a business, and a family who often acted helpless, it didn't give me space to grieve properly. And also, it made me realize how much I was just really being used. Now that I am more at peace currently, now I've been able to grieve like I wanted or needed to. I tried to do it recently this year with loved ones, but unfortunately, they wanted my life to be harder. I'm where I wanted to be mentally and emotionally now, even with my dad. I've been able to forgive my dad and just move on from a lot of stuff from my past and just let it go. One book that had helped me during that time when he passed away, and I was trying to make sure we still stay stable and was able to move on, was a book called The Budget Nista. It gave me the tools to keep my finances and credit strong while still holding everything together. I also developed systems I don't share publicly that kept me grounded and organized. Was I scared? No, maybe a little worried. I stayed patient though. I refused to give up because I had already built a clientele and a life I was proud of. Did I miss the Amazon paycheck? Sometimes, especially when I was doing hair and working at Amazon. That was the best money I ever had. But that only motivated me to keep making more money for myself.
Some might ask, why didn't you ask your family for help? The same reason why they didn't offer after seeing us struggle, be distraught, and sad. Truthfully, my coworkers and clients, along with my dad, coworkers were often more supportive. One friend in particular encouraged me to keep going and even pushed me to take my birthday trip to Miami, which I had planned and paid for before he passed away. By December, I found a new salon. I still respect the owner to this day, even though others misunderstood her. I appreciate that she gave me space when I needed it the most. Because one illusion that I learned from the last salon before this one was that success does not equal stability. And a lot of times a person can have a facility and they can have a staff, but that does not mean they have a successful business or a business that creates revenue. And a lot of times I notice that people take the fake it till you make it to the extreme. And a lot of times that's what y'all see when a lot of times people open up these salons or these businesses. But I'm not here to just get too deep into that. Not every person I met was low vibrational or unmotivated. I crossed paths with people who had their own business, their own goals, and I had mine. That was exactly what I had manifested, so I had stayed aligned and grateful even in challenges. I have put together the pattern as well. Every single environment or situation that creates drama or any type of emotional distress, even if it's not directed towards me, family, workplace, friendships, relationships, instead of being a part of drama, it pushed me to grow. And as I reflect, that could be why I don't connect with many women, especially ones that match my skin now. I think subconsciously I grew tired. Not saying there's no good ones or cool ones, but from my experience, they more than likely are going to be kids or women over 40 that has wisdom or experience. And even that comes with bullet points attached. The women around my age are similar to me. They be on the same thing: money, stability, and peace. Now, I didn't mention I do connect well with wives and good single moms with kids. That's a pattern that hasn't faded, only strengthened. I always whisper to myself, I'll connect fully one day. And I think it's because of the maturity and the frequency. But because I'm more so focused on my own stability in my own life right now and can't fully relate to them, one day I will, and I think that's when I'll finally be able to have the ideal friendships or connections that I desire. Currently, I don't care to be around a lot of women because I don't like to be around comparison energy, people who compare themselves, people who like to mimic me, or people who are full of drama or bashment. I try to stay away from those type of women because I don't relate. I will bash the men that I'm with, but that's personal. But besides that, I don't care to be around it. I'm more of a person that likes to hold myself accountable for what the roles I play. Working with hair introduced me to all types of people: career professionals, influencers, entrepreneurs. Everyone had their own story, their own path. I never tried to force growth on anyone. I simply just focused on mine. And that's with any relationship, within family, friendship, or just association. I never force anyone to grow. I'm not that type of person. I more so like to focus on myself. I still respect so many of those people, though I didn't share my struggles with them the most. Maybe one day I'll reconnect with some of them, or maybe not, because being around people that's an associate showed me the dark side of business or the hair industry. It can be very competitive, dishonest, and performative. It made me understand why they have so much how-to content on the internet, because a lot of ego operators have to learn everything that God instilled in us naturally. Here's something I observed. You can't take people on the road God has written for you unless they are handpicked. And for what I've seen in other cultures, it's usually just their partner and intermediate family who truly stays close. Most successful couples don't roll with big friend groups. And I won't say why here because I can go into depth about that another time. But they do show up to events and parties that's meaningful or serves a purpose to them. That closeness stays within the family they build and the partner God paired with them. I've been around many successful couples, and a lot of times they just show me that it was possible, and you don't have to be famous or seen all the time to have wealth or stability or just a healthy family in general. It always seemed like the quieter, the better. At the end of the day, like the book says, 2 is better than 1, not 3, 4, or 5. The children are meant to grow the family, not bring in outside forces, unless they are hired to help, of course. Over time, what most people didn't know, and honestly, I don't care if they ever do, because I do this for me, is how much research, reading, and planning I put into getting here, especially during my hair career. I kept my success private because honestly, I like being seen as human first. All I ever wanted was stability, love, and peace, not fame. Sure, fame comes with it, especially in the age of the internet, but that's not what I chase. My dad's passing changed me deeply, but in a strange way. I already knew how to keep moving forward and stay true to my vision. There's a Nicki Minaj quote. Well, it's not really a quote, but she did say it. And she said that I've been living by. And she said, it all comes down to how bad do you want it. So when you see me doing something, know it's never random. I planned, prepared, and always been ready to show up. To most, I'm just a regular old Aaliyah, a human. There are plenty of people who see me and respect me, don't get me wrong. But like the Bible says, love does not boast or brag. And that's something that I do live by, especially nowadays. I think the quieter, the better. Most people connected to me have noticed I've been in my own world, focused on growth, until it was time to expand bigger and better, especially on this internet. But on the business side, I'm discreet, silent, and solo, and that is what works best for me. By 30, I learned not everyone will take risks, work hard, or stay patient. And either way, I was aligned properly and thinking clearly. This wasn't just about spirituality. It was about discipline, desire, and division, my own. People talk about working less and making more, but my mindset was put in the work now so I can create the life I want later. Not at 40, 50, 60, which is fine too if that's when you choose to, step into alignment or step into your goals. But my thing always been, if I'm going to work hard, it has to be at things that I love and made a big difference in my life. And trust me, God heard me loud and clear. Recently, someone told me in person, because that's usually when I tell a lot of my stories before they made it on the internet. It seems like your family didn't take you seriously or believe in you. And I had to agree. They don't really see this side of me, the business or the serious side. They only see one version of me, the only version I'm willing to give them. And that was more so I learned because of instinct. And I see a lot of my instincts wasn't wrong. Honestly, I think that peace gave me space to create and take care of myself without interference. And it was also protection as well, because choosing to stay private and just choosing to be in my own world and just keep a lot of my success and wins to myself, or at least just to people that I was close with or felt I was close with, was the best thing for me. And it also didn't help that my mom never bragged about me, but sometimes my dad did in his own way. I even had 3 articles written about me. The third one never got published because of my mom's betrayal, which emotionally affected me. It made it hard to follow through. But I'm still grateful that I was considered. And I always tell myself that, well, at the time and even sometimes now when I think about it, I just tell myself that there will be more opportunities, or there will be better and bigger opportunities. So thank you for listening, tuning in, and learning more about me. This episode was a little more insightful, but some things I just be like, who cares? Just share it. If you are new or want more videos about inner child healing, spiritual awakening, or science behind it, subscribe to Mindset of a Goddess TV. Like this video or share it with someone who likes a good story, and also tell them to watch the other episodes too, because they all good stories and each one just gets better and better. Use the link in my description box to sign up for my empowered audio library, where I have 10 powerful tracks. And I'm not just saying that, they are very powerful and they do help, because I make sure each one is felt very deeply. And sometimes I even listen to them myself and I just be proud because they really good. If you want to know more about how I can coach you through any big life shift, click the link in the description box. You can email me or book a free personal analysis call. Your journey won't look like anyone else's. It wasn't designed to. That's your power. Keep stepping, keep trusting, and watch yourself become unstoppable. I coach soul-led individuals on this, so if you feel called, use the description box to book a call. Come back next week for the next episode. It only gets better. Bye.